Hello.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Okay. Well, it's just us right now, but we'll see if people come on. We've been on a break.
Someone on, but I don't know who yet. But said she set an alarm or she put it in her calendar or something. So I think that she's going to end up coming on at some point. Hopefully she'll remember.
Okay.
So, welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
It has been a while.
Yes, since December. We took the whole month of December and January.
Yeah. Yep. And not on purpose for January, but I was sick for almost the whole month. So,
Right.
and now they're, so
Yeah, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Oh,
and we also have our co-host chirping in the background, singing to us, serenading.
you. Our canary, my canary. He's happy this morning.
Crazy weather going on over there.
Oh yeah, we've had so just really quickly, we had normally California, when it rains and then you get a break in the clouds, and then it rains and then you get a break in the clouds. That's like a normal rain day. This has been since Sunday night, solid rain, like without stopping, like almost like, Seattle or Portland, Oregon, where it was never stopped. It was just always raining. So it was unusual for us for sure. But now we got sun again today and partial clouds.
Look at my light. This is all natural light. There's no light. I mean, other than my up lights, I don't have a light on. I'm like, wow.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You are still cutting out a little bit, Tears. So just so you know. Oh, there's Bernie. Bernie's on with us. Hi, Bern.
Bernie, we were just talking about you.
How are you?
New Year in February.
Okay, so we wanted to talk today about how hard it is to have this space to be creative and to actually have the time. Terry worded it really well the other day when we were talking. Having the time, it's not just about going into your studio and you start creating. It's about having enough time around you to just kind of ponder.
Yes.
And right now, that's been my huge struggle with working and balancing that, job and transitioning into new career and doing all that stuff, and having the time where I'm not thinking about that, but I can think about my art. Like, pictures run through my mind about what I want to try to paint, but then it goes away again because I'm thinking about work. So I haven't been painting like I was going to try to do. And so that's been a big struggle for me.
It has been. Yes. Yes, I know.
So,
For me, it has been more of, as I grow my art business and I take on more things to generate income or to, try things or whatever, those things, what it takes to do that is occupying my time and then my mental capacity, um, to have that space around to have time to do what that to not even if I came in the studio to create, my brain is so cluttered with everything else that there's
exactly.
be creative. Yeah. And I'm
Exactly.
missing it.
Yeah. So what have you found that works for you, Miss Tara?
I'm just starting to implement it now. So I'm implementing it for this new year, and we'll do an after action review in December and see if it it worked. But what I did was I got a calendar, and I wrote out then the things that I want to do that are most important to me as far as what I'm going to focus on in my art business, because there's a million different rabbits that we can chase, right? So what are my most important things? And then putting those in the calendar, backing out from that, organizing those thoughts in space, right? So that gets them out of my brain, and leaving some time in that calendar for exactly that, to have nothing to do, so that I have to ponder. Actually giving myself permission to have that space and time is the first thing that we have to do, because it seems very frivolous when there's a million things that we have to do that are real, like work and our house stuff, and you know,
To not feel guilty, about sitting there.
to sit there. Yes,
And
yes.
even if you're not doing anything, just sit there. Like sit in front of the canvas. Oh, you blocked out again, my friend.
I did. I
Oh,
mean,
there you go. It's funny, it goes in and out. I don't know why.
I don't need that. Well, it'll really.
Yeah, you're just getting it like every third word.
I am still.
It's funny. Maybe it's because of Guinness singing.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, that actually probably is what it is, because it's picking him up, so it's hitting your mic.
Yep.
And,
Okay, I'm gonna go over there and cover him up.
oh,
I know, but you keep talking. I'll be right back.
start me on what we were saying, and then she totally left. Okay. Okay, Bertie, it's me and you. So I think that it's interesting that Tony goes to work, every day, and he doesn't feel guilty about going to work. He doesn't feel guilty about not having time to do other things. He doesn't feel guilty about if the housework or things like that, get behind, because he has to go to work. And I feel like, because this is art and I love it and it's so fun and it's all the great things, that it's more of a frivolous thing and it's not a job, and so I feel guilty about taking that time that I need in order to be creative. I don't know what happened.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay,
But now let me
there we go.
comes back.
Okay, so what do you keep doing?
I'm trying to get my picture back.
Okay.
Can you
Whoops.
see me?
Nope. Hold on.
We're just having all kinds of issues today. Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. Okay, I'm gonna go out and come back. Okay, bye guys. Boy. Ooh.
Okay. You kicked me out. Now I'm back. Okay, Bernie, hold on. We're trying to figure this out. Yay, live. 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 What is this pair doing right there? Okay, she's gonna come back in at some. There she is. Okay, let me add her. Okay.
Yay.
All right, hopefully. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, could you hear me while you were gone?
No, because I shut my laptop.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay. So I was just saying to Bernadette that, Tony goes to work and he doesn't feel guilty about going to work and things falling by the wayside. But because I'm doing art and because it's fun and I love it, I feel guilty because I need space. And so she said, I have a sketchbook in my car where I can write down my thoughts whenever. I have that too. It goes everywhere with me.
That's a great idea.
It helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is a really great idea. So I just have that issue where work gets in the way. Bernie, I don't know if you do anything about, not thinking about work, but that's kind of my issue because now I'm back to pretty much full time. And so there's not only the weekends are available to me to do the art. And that's where I struggle because I can't fully relax into it to feel creative because I'm still thinking about all the stuff I got to get done for the day. And I'm because I only have the 2 days to do it. So, I don't know if you do because I know you still work full time, don't you, Bernie? I don't know if you have any ideas about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she will probably pop on and say
Okay.
something about that. But
Yeah.
I think that giving ourselves the permission to not feel guilty about needing the space, first of all, and then putting solid parameters around that space. Once we figure out when we can do it, okay, so yours is, your time is the weekends, nights and weekends is when you're going to be able to, create. And
Hmm.
so, um, this isn't the mental part, but just the fit, like it's not literally physical, but if you know that that's the time that you have, putting something around that where you don't let anything else come in and steal that time, right?
I
And
wouldn't like
still,
a ritual. Like maybe there's a ritual I could do, like going into the where I paint, lighting a calendar, um, having kind of a little bit of a ritual around that so it lets your mind say, okay, yeah, I'm transitioning now. I'm going to start doing my art.
oh yes, that is actually a really good idea. Like some kind of meditation or something, whatever works for you. I mean, meditation isn't easy either, but
Yeah,
because I just
yeah.
started out all
So
the
that's why I thought, like lighting a candle, making your space all happy and fun, something, before you start to get you in the creative mode. Um,
yeah, yeah.
what did Bernie say here? She said,
I think about painting and work all of the time, but when I have the chance to go into my she shed, I am there.
oh, okay, because she has. So I think that your surroundings in your she shed is what gets your mind probably triggered back to creating. I also think it has to do with discipline. Like, let's say I set myself up, and I'll have to figure out what works and then let you guys know. But let's say I set myself up a time limit and say, okay, Saturday from noon to 2 or something is dedicated to art. And whether I do anything or not, I go in there and stay in there for those couple hours. And
Mhm.
maybe it has for me, maybe it's more about also having the discipline, um, instead of feeling, it's a combination of feeling guilty, like, oh, I really should be doing laundry or whatever, because I
Mhm.
only have 2 days, setting up parameters around it so it's a dedicated time, and then just make it a habit more so. Because I know the more you paint, the better you get, and that's what I've been wanting to do, and I just haven't I haven't been as disciplined. Even with all the busyness with work, I haven't been as disciplined.
Well, and you work from home. So
Yes.
wherever you're doing the work that you're doing from home, it should be probably separate, right? So that when you do go into your studio space, which I know is in a separate room,
Yeah.
that space is once you go in there, because I think that could be, and Bernie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that for you, as soon as you walk into that space, everything else kind of falls by the wayside. And you're able to just kind of focus because your brain, maybe that's part of the ritual is making your tea or your coffee or drink, and then you walk out to the she shed, and then it's like that transition lets your brain know, shut all this other crap because we're about to go get creative. And so
I
for
think
you,
so.
yeah, that would be like making something, a drink that maybe you only have when you're in the studio, right? And then you walk down the hall, you go in there, and even if you're not creating, you're right, being in there for those 2 hours or however long is important because that's your time to sit there and ponder.
Right, right. Yeah, I am gonna have to start trying that for sure.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that's
I need to do it, especially as my life gets busier and busier with work. That's the only way it's gonna happen, I think.
agree.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I did set up a time. So what I found happened last year was that, so this last year was my first time of doing, I did the two booths, right? We
Yep.
watched we launched Prince and we launched Mini Mini Club. And
Yep.
so, and that doesn't seem like a lot when you just put it like that in a year span, but that was a lot.
It
And
seems like a lot.
a lot goes into the behind the scenes of all of that, right? And a lot of mental clutter, plus still creating and then still, being on top of social media and the marketing aspect of all of that.
Yeah.
So I
Which we want to talk. We want to
yeah,
talk about that.
come to that. But what I found through that was that, um, especially because of the art fairs and the mini minis, there are deadlines associated with those. So you have to let things fall by the wayside because you have a deadline coming up. And so when I got to December, I realized like I had let a lot of things fall through the crack in my house, and just getting cluttered, leaving things out, all these different things that as I walked through my house, I was like, oh, I should be doing that. Oh, I should be doing that. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I want to do that. So December, I took off, and I ended up writing a list of all the things that were bugging me as I walked through my house. And then I spent that time as a downtime from creating, but also getting all those little ducks in a row so that when January came, I could start fresh and not have all of that nagging in the background. So I think also, and now I've incorporated that into my calendar. Um, After a show, after a big launch, there's a set little bit of time to get reorganized, not just in my studio, but in my house. And so maybe that can help someone, even you as well, with like when you're feeling like, oh, I need to do laundry. Well, laundry during this time.
Right, right. Setting up this out because I did. What was good is I did the same thing as you in December. My garage was kind of a disaster, and I was able to get all my unpainted canvases kind of lined up and cleaned out a bunch of stuff and brought had the 1-800 junk people come and got a bunch of stuff out and then brought a bunch of stuff to Goodwill. And so I was able to kind of organize my unpainted canvases. So now when I walk out into my garage, even though I'm painting in another room, just walking out into the garage would cause me anxiety. So now it's at a spot where it feels manageable. And I was excited that I got everything lined up. So that definitely helped. And the fact that you're incorporating that into your calendar is really a good point to make to everybody, because a lot of times that stuff doesn't get scheduled, and then that's where you start to I kind of when I get overwhelmed, just shut down and then don't do anything.
Me too. That's when I scroll on social media.
Yeah. 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 So that's important. Okay,
Yeah,
good. Well,
good.
then talk to us really quickly about, because I think we only want to be on for 30 minutes, but talk to us about part of your scheduling, and part of what you got organized was you were also looking at a scheduling app for posting on social.
Yes,
So,
yes. And so I had been wanting to do that for the last 6 months of last year, but I just never had the time set aside to go and, research all of it. And things like that, I don't really like to do willy nilly. I need time to think it through and strategize. I decided to try a company called Social Bee, and I'm still on my week trials. I got 5 days left or something. And I chose them because it just had the most things that I needed. I felt like I would use, or that I needed, because I am going to have to pay for it. But social media is eats up a lot of my time, because you're creating the content, you're posting the content, and every morning I would get up to post the content, and then I'm like, what am I going to say? I don't know about you guys, but I'm not creative at 7 in the morning when I'm going to post something. I'm
no.
ah,
Yeah,
not.
I have to do it the night before, get it ready the night before, otherwise it ain't gonna happen.
I don't know why I never did that, but actually, what was happening, and this was a huge amount of that mental space clutter, was that um, I always felt behind in my social media. Like I never, because I was doing all of these other things, I would be like, oh crap, I need to post something. And so then I would scramble to post something or create something or make something to post and then try to think about so I was kind of half-assing all of it and just throwing it out there. This I'm hoping is gonna organize me, and so far it has, and I feel so much better about it. There's just some glitches that I'm working out with it, because at first it wasn't showing like it was posting for me, but no one was seeing them. It was like my reel was showing 0 posts all day long, or I mean 0 views all day long. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm organized, but if nobody sees it, what's the point of doing it? Like, how paying for it, and then all of it. I have been in communication with them back and forth, like, why is this happening? And we have a solution, which he went and looked at my my analytics and all that, and said, hey, would you consider trying to post at between 6 and 7 p.m. based on your growth and what he saw. It turns out that my people are most active probably between 6 and 7. And so in the evening, yeah. But even though Instagram shows that I should be posting, well, basically Instagram, honestly, if you really look at it, it's like post all day. I mean, it just gives you this very wide band of when you can post that someone might see it. This was very specific, so I thought, oh, whatever. I didn't really believe him, but I owe him an apology in my brain, because it did work. Like the one that I did, I tried it, and then that went back to my normal amount of views I would get. Yeah. So so last night I went into the app and I changed all the things that I have scheduled. I changed them all to go on in the evening, and I'm just going to watch it for the foreseeable future and just see how it's doing.
Oh,
but
that's
having that allowed me to, so I told you I got the calendar. So I went through and I said, okay, so these are the things I know that I need to promote on social media. I need to promote the Mini Minis Club. When that opens up in the beginning of the month, I promote that so that people know there's spots available. Then I know that I'm going to have a booth coming up at these days, because I only do the 2. And so leading up to that, I know I'm going to have to do these posts coming up. And then sporadically in there, I want to start, saying, hey, I actually have art for sale if anybody's interested. I hadn't been doing that. Like, how are we going to sell if people don't actually, just because they see something on my table doesn't mean they know that it's for sale. And
right.
So all of these different categories that I knew I wanted to market, but I was always behind in doing it because I didn't think of it until it was too late.
Right.
So this app helps me to organize all of that, make it ahead of time. Now I'm ahead.
And the other big key about that social bee that you had mentioned that I think is important for people to know if they want to try it is the fact that they will rotate through. You have folders where you organize your content by theme or subject, and it will automatically rotate through
that
contact.
So
you don't have to worry. They'll just keep rotating through.
So basically so now that I did that in my calendar, right? And so then I went through their app and I said, okay, so I know the first 2 weeks of the month, I'm going to market the Mini Minis Club. So on this day, and this day, send out a post on my behalf of the Mini Minis Club. And I made a folder for Mini Minis Club. And then I made a folder for available art. And that goes out on Friday. So every Friday now you're going to see a post that's going to say, hey, this. And so then once I made those categories, then I spent 2 days, even though I wanted to be painting, I was like, just a little longer, Terry, just get this done and then you'll be able to create. I started to make those contents and then started putting them into those folders on Social Bee. And then it automatically will just take from the top of that category post. And the absolute best part about it is that it has the AI in it, so that when I was creating the words for what I wanted to say about the post, I just had to put the key words of the gist of what I want to say. And then it gives me all the options to choose from of putting it together in a, you know, a nice, neat little paragraph that I can post it out. And I don't have to sit there and think, well, they're mini minis and they're really cute. And
It prompts you to get started on what you wanna say.
well, it just says it for me. Like it takes it
Yeah,
all.
but you could if someone wanted to make sure they were writing for themselves, you know what I mean? Like some people don't like AI because of, but it would help you get started if you didn't want to full on use what they said. It'll help. It definitely sparks that
Yeah.
content.
And
Yeah.
what they gave me, some of them I used, word for word, but then most of them I tweaked it,
Yeah.
so you're right. Like it was like,
That's
oh,
what I mean.
really sound like me. That's
Yeah.
not exactly what I would say. So let me
Exactly.
change this sentence or that. And so, but
Right.
that takes time, right?
Right.
Now those coffers or those folders or those little things are full of content. So now each week, as I'm going through, like yesterday, I created and I did some recordings. Now I can just drop those in and they'll just rotate through. And I had to give myself another permission, which is to give myself permission that nothing has to be in order.
Right.
I have to post things in order.
Okay.
What's
Okay.
happening, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing you said something, another thing about that social bee, and we'll keep talking about this so you guys know what works, what she's found, but that they will also prioritize any post that has does a higher amount of views, right? Didn't you say something about that as well? With my glasses.
Oh, I don't.
About that
uh,
the more popular posts get used more often or something, they will prioritize based on how many uh, views or feedbacks you get on your posts, like whichever post performs the best.
No, I didn't. I think that that was a conversation we had about we're going to start to do some boosting of posts or some sponsor.
Oh, okay. I
And
thought they did it.
no, so we're going to look at what posts do
Okay.
well, as far as like what kind of content I'm making, what posts do well, and those ones will, put $5 here or $10 there and see how the sponsored posts go. And
Okay.
and I don't know what we're waiting on that. I think that we'll probably start that in the next couple weeks because
Yeah.
everything plans for that. I want to start with the mini club.
Okay. And then there's me on the other spectrum, which I haven't been posting at all.
Yeah.
So-
How, how do you feel about that? And what, like, well, one of the things that we talked about with you with that also too is that you don't want to start feeling like you're missing the community, right? And so how do you feel?
So I feel like doing these lives with my great friend Terry Wilson are important. Like I don't want to kind of let that go, because I still think there's a lot of people that are on, where I was at the beginning. When we started this, was trying to make the art a go, but then, having to survive financial stability, I've had to switch again. So it's not ultimately what I want to be doing. What I want to be doing is just ultimately doing the art, but that may be another couple years or so from here. So now I've just uh kind of altered my thinking on now I'm back to okay, well, how do I at least get my art painting, whether I post on social or any of that, I'm kind of letting it go, but actually painting and having the space and time to paint is now what I'm focused on, less about um, building it right now because I feel like I'm too overwhelmed.
Sure.
I'm too overwhelmed. Oh, Bernie says, what about posting a few stories about your life and trying to make art? Yeah, I definitely can do that on my stories for sure. And I had told um Terry that I'm obsessed with how, your 8 cells on Instagram look like I'm a visual person. So
Yeah.
I want to make those look good. So that's why it got to be the point where I just didn't do anything because it was just overwhelming me not having it done to where it looks good. So, um, yeah, so I kind of just stopped it all, but I definitely could be keeping my stories going, especially for the people that are already following me.
Absolutely.
Um,
And
yeah,
you're gonna get those comments and likes and the community aspect of still feeling like that you're around.
but yeah, but that stresses me out doing stories. Just doing all the video.
Well,
Like,
until you do it. I mean, I'm telling you, like once you just start doing it, it
yeah,
just
it's
carries
easier.
Bernie, right? Because Bernie's been doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, see, she said we want to see more Jeanette. Yeah, I keep telling her that all the time. So you gotta be with me, Bernie, and get her on there because I'm like, her story, Jeanette's story, and what she's going through with everything about work and creating art and all the things wrapped around that is what the majority of artists I think go through, and your story is the most relatable. Like your goal is that you want to share, you want to share with the purpose of helping others and giving back to others, right?
Yeah,
And that's how you do it because your stories, they're like, me too, me too, me too, me too, me too. And
yeah,
sometimes it makes people feel so good to know that they're not the only one,
yeah, yeah.
and give them that by saying, "No, we're in it together." And so, okay, she said, "Here's her advice." They go away.
That's true. That's
Oh,
true.
stop.
Well, I think maybe when I get that, just when I set up some sort of parameters around like that time, like on a Saturday or Sunday, at least post on during that time, maybe. And then I can set some parameters around it so it doesn't feel overwhelming.
Yeah,
Because,
absolutely. Start
because,
wherever you feel comfortable.
yeah, because otherwise, it wasn't that way for me before, but now with everything going on, it's like I'm just tired, tired. I just don't,
Yeah.
just get tired. So,
I think that when you get back into your studio in a scheduled format, that you're going to find that those times are going to, even though you're tired, that's going to give you energy because that
I,
is the source of your happiness, the source of your joy, the source of your energy is being in the studio. And I feel like because you haven't been able to do that in so long, that you're drained and your cup needs to be super super full.
yeah, agreed. Okay, girl, I love this. I love this conversation. Thanks, Bernie, for joining us and talking about all this. And we will keep you posted. Your screen is frozen, by the way, Miss Terry. Not sure why.
Me
Um,
either, because I'm moving and
okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks, Bernie. We're on schedule now to start again, and so we'll be back in
two
a week.
weeks.
Yep, in a week and a half. So we'll get back on, when is it? The 21st.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
So
everybody.
stay
Thanks
tuned.
for joining. Thanks, Bern.
Thanks, Bernie.
Okay, hope we were helpful for you guys today and getting back to it. Okay, bye. Terry, I don't know, you're frozen again. You have to take us out. Should we end it?